All right, welcome to a very special edition of Seven Rivers Sports. I'm your host, Terry Erickson. We are taping this morning here on July 5th at Grand Bluff Running, home of Dynamic Therapy and Performance Center. We also want to thank our hosts here and our sponsor, Citizen State Bank, Kickapoo Coffee, for being a part of this show today. We're privileged to have with us Olympic track star, steeplechase champ, world champion, United States champion in the steeplechase 7 times, Emma Coburn, along with her coach, her husband, and a tremendous athlete himself, an All-American athlete and a great high school athlete from Aquinas, Joe Bosshard. Welcome to the show, guys. Well, we'll start with Emma, and I watched a YouTube video recently, and it talked about a fairy tale beginning and then accelerating from there. For our guests and our viewers, talk about that fairy tale beginning in that small community.
I am from a small town in Colorado called Crested Butte, and there's 2,000 people in the whole town, and it's a very active community, and so I grew up playing a lot of sports and participating in a lot of activities, and so grew up very athletic. And Joe spent his senior year of high school there, and that's where we met. And I always loved playing sports and being an athlete, but I didn't really like running until I met Joe, because he loved running and I had a crush on him, so I started liking running more and more. But yeah,
I think he had a crush on you too, didn't he?
Yeah, we were friends for a while, and then we finally admitted to each other.
So, but back then, you were just dabbling in multiple sports. Like, for example, in that small community, you made the comment that there are many athletes, because that's kind of what they do. But who inspired you and kind of planted a seed that you, Emma Coburn, have a gift?
I never thought that this would be where my life would go. I never had dreams to be in the Olympics or anything, and the seed was really planted with my high school coach and Joe. They were the first 2 people that kind of challenged me to dream beyond just high school sports. My parents were always incredibly supportive in any athletic endeavor I wanted to pursue, and so they would have supported me no matter what. But it wasn't until I met Joe and my high school coach that I started really dreaming bigger of what I could achieve and that I could maybe be great in the sport.
Here's where a lot of people struggle, the mental aspect of the game or the meet, or they just struggle. They may have the strategy, they may have the gift, they may have the athleticism, but they struggle mentally. Now, when you were in high school, an author that I read said you were quoted as being more nervous for a high school cross-country meet than you were standing at the Olympics in Rio.
I was a very nervous high school athlete, a high school runner. I cried on the starting line of the state meet in cross-country, and I think one of the first times Bill Bosshard ever met me, I was having a mental breakdown in a race, and I didn't want to keep going, and I was walking, and that was a terrible first impression. But I think I've made it up since then. But I really struggled with the performance anxiety and also anxiety of the physical pain that you have to endure while performing. And as my career progressed and I started training harder and preparing more, I gained more and more confidence. And Joe likes to say that confidence is earned. And so I earn that confidence day by day through my training. And so I know when I stand on the starting line that I'm prepared, and that as long as I try my best, that's all I can ask of myself. And that takes a lot of the nerves away.
Why is Joe Bosshard your coach besides a husband? Well, here's why. 6-time All-American runner at the University of Colorado, tremendous high school athlete. But here's something a lot of people didn't know. I first met Joe Bosshard with a gift that I noticed in basketball. You remember that?
Yes.
And he played at the club, and he was an exceptional basketball player, and then turned to running. But that's why one of the reasons he's your coach, of course, is because he's knowledgeable and has All-American status himself.
Well, I actually, yeah, I have more All-American certificates than Emma does, so, so let's not forget that. Unfortunately, I would finish 5th or 6th at the national meet, and Emma would finish 1st, so that's where it ended for me. But basketball, yes, grew up playing basketball and lacrosse and started at the Boys and Girls Club. I didn't get tall enough, so we were done with that and had to stick to running. But running was certainly, yeah, my passion and something that has stuck with me since the early days here. And yeah, I mean, being I guess a good athlete and runner is good, but the coaching side, I don't do much running anymore. So just that love of the sport and always having it kind of with me growing up has led me to, I feel like, feeling comfortable coaching Emma and
well,
going
not
forward.
only coaching Emma,
Yeah.
but you're coaching multiple athletes.
Mm-hmm.
And talk about that.
We have a group of 9 athletes in Boulder. Our women's side has 2 other Olympians, so it's one of the best groups in the country, if not the world. And day in, day out, we're seeing some of the best runners, or I'm seeing some of the best runners that are out there, and they push each other every day, and they push me every day, and make me work and hold me accountable. So it's a lot of fun, but it's challenging. You know, we're always going to the biggest meets in the world, and we have to perform, and so there's a lot of pressure on us to get the job done.
Well, speaking of your beginning, you were at Aquinas, and then you graduated from Crested Butte Academy, but somebody must have planted a seed and saw that you could be an All-American runner.
I just, you know, I didn't necessarily think I was super good in high school, but I always had a lot of self-confidence in myself that I could do it. And I remember just being a freshman in high school, and I just read a book, Running with the Buffaloes, and I said I want to go run for University of Colorado. And I was probably 5 feet tall and weighed 95 pounds, and I was just trying to make it work. But yeah, just the self-confidence that I think I could, you know, kind of keep improving, and fortunately I was able to, and got a scholarship to run for the University of Colorado, and won, you know, conference titles and national meets and things like that. And it was just a belief in myself that I could do it, and obviously having the support of my family and friends to allow me to move to Colorado and do that as a senior in high school. So kind of leaving everything behind here to go chase a dream.
Yeah, and you caught that dream, by the way. But here's what's interesting for our viewers and our guests. An author that did an article on you, a writer said, what's special about Emma? And here's what it is. She cares about other people. She's humble. She's not into herself. She wants success, but she cares about other people. She goes above and beyond to assist other people. Now, I recognized that yesterday at the race. You were at the front and I was probably in the back. But I recognized just the way you interacted with people yesterday here at the Firecracker 4. I mean, it's special. Not a lot of athletes have that. Talk about how you developed that.
I don't know. I just am who I am, I guess. And I think having...
I think I'll just answer it. No, Emma truly hasn't changed since I've met her. And I think that's what's wonderful about her, and why she's kind of, people have gravitated towards her, and the friends that she has are some of the closest people, you know, that someone could have in their life. So just putting that kind of always other person first, but at the same time, Emma knows, you know, it's a selfish sport, running, what we do, because we have to do it for ourselves, and we have to get our job done, and we can't go out all the time. We can't do all these other things, but they understand that, and Emma's able to still put others first while understanding that her job requires a selfish side, and that's a difficult balance, but she does it wonderfully.
Well, you're the same way, but is part of it, Emma, because you're from a close family, from a small community, and you don't forget your roots?
Yeah, my family is very similar to the Bosshards, that all the siblings are very close. We spend a lot of time together, and grew up, as a very close family unit and in a small community that supports each other. So I think having the support of your family and your friends and a tremendous loyalty and love for one another. That makes it easy to stay grounded and be connected with your roots and want to give back to your community, just because if they're wonderful to you, why wouldn't you want to be nice back to them? It's pretty easy to be nice to people if they're nice to you.
As a follow-up to that, first woman to win to get to the platform and win a medal in an Olympics, first woman for a U.S. championship, international champion. But one of the things you said on TV, and I watched most of your races, was that you, one of the keys to success is you surround yourself with quality people. A lesson for all of us. You surround yourself with selfless people.
Yeah, I think this sport is really hard, and if you don't have the people in your corner that are supporting your dreams, you won't go anywhere. So this weekend is a great example. It's my sister-in-law's wedding tomorrow. Carly's getting married, and we're so excited for that. But everyone is still making sure that I have time to get my training in, and that I have time to get my recovery in, and time to do fun things like this. And so you do have to have a good balance of people in your life that, again, support you and are with you no matter what.
And
so
who you surround yourself with is incredibly important.
Yeah, but the strength of the wolf, an author said this, the strength of the wolf is in the pack.
Yeah.
So the strength of you and you two and your success is because of family.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're going to step aside just for a minute. When we come back, more here on the special edition of Seven Rivers Sports.
I am Dennis Vogel, the proud CEO of this one-of-a-kind bank, which provides an experience like no other. I often hear from people that a bank is just a bank. Well, I encourage you to talk to our customers, our employees, or check in the reviews to find out why you can't live without Citizen State Bank. I also encourage you to stop in one of our offices, since the difference will be felt within seconds, and is why we are known to have one of the best cultures in the industry. As a result of our culture and amazing perks we offer our employees, we are recently identified as one of the best banks to work for in the country. We are very proud of this and very excited! The Citizens experience combined with the value-added products has consistently made us one of the top-rated banks in the country. So what are you waiting for? Why don't you stop in to check out what all the buzz is about? I guarantee you won't be disappointed.
With our busy lives, it's a comfort to know that we can still remember loved ones in a traditional way with a monument. Lewiston Monuments in Lewiston, Minnesota has been helping families purchase a monument for over 4 generations. You'll find a large selection of beautiful granite, marble, and bronze monuments, all at competitive prices. And they're a full-service company, so they also do straightening, cleaning, and repair of monuments. Stop in or call for a no-obligation consultation, or visit lewistonmonument.com for more information.
At Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning, we have assembled a championship team
who listens to what your needs are.
We install carrier comfort systems that improve the comfort, efficiency, and the air quality of your home and workplace.
We serve you with highly trained technicians who are prompt, friendly, and honest.
For Gold Star treatment, turn to the experts, Carrier and Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning.
Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning, your comfort is our business.
Welcome back to the special edition of Seven Rivers Sports. Joe Bosshard, Emma Coburn. What a tremendous opportunity to interview them. Let's start with Emma. One thing that maybe a lot of people don't understand is we talked about giving back. Well, you developed an elk 5K run. Now, the first 2 years you raised $50,000. What's interesting now, and I just signed up this morning, by the way. Oh, what's interesting now is that the 2019 race, and I don't know anything about it until I saw it this morning, it's a virtual run. So you're really appealing to the whole world in this run with a goal of raising $30,000, and again, to help cancer victims in Living Journeys.
Yes.
Talk about that, please.
Living Journeys is a cancer support charity in Crested Butte, where I grew up. and they give direct financial aid and counseling services to people battling cancer and their families. And it's a charity that I've volunteered with throughout my time in high school and really is a pillar of the community there. And after the Rio Olympics, Joe started really realizing that now is a time in my career that I should be a little less selfish and start giving back now that we can. And so while I have the platform that I do, I might as well make good with it. And so we organized and started this 5K in my hometown, Elk Run 5K, and the first 2 years were super successful. We raised $50,000, and again, the town is so tiny, and it's 4 hours away from the Denver airport, or 5 hours. So
and it's at 9,000 feet.
And it's at 9,000 feet. So it's a bit of an adventure, and that piece of the race, being in Crested Butte, will in future years always happen. But this year I'll be competing at the World Championships during that time, so we can't be in Crested Butte. But it was super important for us to continue the race, and as you said, by making it virtual, everyone in the world can participate if they choose. And we will be back in Crested Butte.
Explain what that means.
I will.
Virtual. Okay.
We will be in Crested Butte in future years, but this year's virtual. And so what it means is that you sign up and you get the race bag, you get a hat, goodies from sponsors, a racing bib, and then on September 21st, everyone around the world who signs up will participate in a 5K run. And so you'll post your run on social media with the right hashtags, and we kind of just get to engage globally together in hopes of raising money for this great charity. And the great thing about running is that it is such a global sport, and everyone, no matter what their language or where they live in the world, can participate in it. And so it's really special to get to expand it globally.
Yeah, and so our guests, our viewers wanting to get more information, go to the website and sign up. And I know, as I said, I'm already signed up, and I'm going to compete that particular day. And of course, you're on. It's an honor system too, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's an honor system. But yeah, like Emma said, you'll see people posting from all around the world, and we'll be sharing that, and it'll be pretty neat.
You train all the time. You said you trained this morning before the show. You trained yesterday before the race. You trained after the race. Here's a quote, and see if you agree with this. Your body will argue that there's no justifiable reason to continue. Your only recourse is to call on your spirit, your heart, which fortunately functions independent of logic.
I think running is incredibly hard, as we all know, but there are different levels that you can push yourself to. Your body, you wake up and it's really not happy to be out there, and you feel stiff, but you can mentally, with your spirit, kind of force yourself into a faster pace or a better rhythm, and then find a little bit of happiness during the run. This morning I woke up, I was feeling a little sore and stiff, and it was humid, and then by the last couple miles of my run, I was super happy and enjoying it. So I think with your heart and your mind, you can really get through a lot of the arguments that your body is giving you.
I think my job as coach is to be logic, because the athletes don't often have that.
Well, speaking of that, we have a daughter that's an elite runner too, and sometimes I worry, and athletes in general, particularly runners, oftentimes overtrain.
Yeah.
They don't rest when they should. But let's talk about that, Joe. Let's talk about nutrition. Let's talk about cross-training. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about all the things that are as important as putting your shoes on and running down the street.
Yeah. Well, I think the training side, I always say, is the easy part, because it's just running. You can get out and run, all day, I guess. But deciding when to push, when to hold back, when you're going over the edge, things like that. That's what I try to watch and think about for the athlete, to help take that burden off of them. So when they're looking a little tired, let's pull back. When it looks like they're all right, or I know we don't have a race for a month or so, let's really push now. And so providing that sounding board, making those tough calls of maybe we shouldn't run today, maybe we should cross train, let's get in the pool. Because athletes, they'll always, the motivation is not the hard part. They'll always be motivated.
I've always thought that 3 of our children were good runners, and I've always thought, and I'm a weekend warrior, I've always thought that running is a unique sport. You're surrounded by kind of unique people with unique personalities, and the culture is much different than many other sports. Would you agree with that?
I think running is great because, as I said, so many different types of people can participate, and it doesn't matter how fast you're going. It doesn't matter if you're a world champion or you're trying to run a 15-minute mile. Whatever it is, everyone can participate, and so many different personalities, so many different types of people. Sometimes people run just to, for their health and fitness. Some run with race in mind and all different motivations, or trying to lose weight, whatever it is. So it's, there are totally different people, but the common thread is that you're trying to get the best of yourself.
Well, and what's interesting is, it hurts just as bad for Emma as it does any one of you. It doesn't change. That doesn't change at all. It's not like an NBA player who's 6'8" and can dunk and do all these things that you can. It doesn't. If someone says, "Oh, running's hard," it hurts and it's difficult. It's the exact same for Emma and our athletes. That doesn't ever change. It is truly that for the rest of. Always. So.
The pain is a little bit more profound for runners like me than it is maybe for others. But how about advice to young people watching the show, young people that are here? How can they perhaps not get to the level of an Emma Coburn or maybe an All-American runner like Jill Bosshard, but how can they reach their peak performance? And how can weekend warriors reach their peak performance?
My biggest advice that I give people is that I think consistency is the most important thing. And if you can run 5 days a week for even 2 or 3 miles, that is going to feel way better on your body than trying to run 1 6-mile run once a week or once every other week. And your body will really start getting in a rhythm. And so consistency week to week, day to day, that is all super important. And that for people who are trying to take an introduction into running and maybe dive in a little deeper, I think consistency is the biggest thing.
What's ahead for Jill Bosshard and Emma Coburn? I know the World Championships are in Des Moines coming up, and then the Olympics in Tokyo, and back to the Diamond Series, the run. I don't know, a lot of people maybe aren't familiar with the Diamond Series, which is basically in Europe, right? Mm-hmm. Talk about those 3 things.
The U.S. Championships are in 3 weeks in Des Moines, and then trying to qualify. Well, Emma's qualified already, but World Championships in Doha at the end of September. We have a series called the Diamond League circuit, and it's a series of basically 5-6 races around the world. And we've already competed in 2 of them. We're already in Oslo. We had a race in Stanford. We'll have a race in Zurich, and it's the best 10 to 12 athletes in the world at those stops. And then beyond that is obviously Tokyo in 2020. And so we're just kind of getting started. Our season, it's just heating up, and we'll be going until the end of September. So like you said, we're in full training right now, and there's no cutting back just for 4th of July weekend.
How do you look 2020 Tokyo? Okay. Mm-hmm. So you're pointing that as maybe the capstone of your training. Who looks like they're going to be the biggest competitors? Is there somebody that stands out that you're going to have to really improve in order to get it to the same level you did last time?
The current world record holder she's basically been undefeated in the last 2 years. I think she's lost once. And so she's the biggest competitor. Her name's Beatrice Chepkoech, and she's Kenyan, and she's, the world record holder. She's top dog. And then in the U.S., there's my top competitor in the U.S. is a woman named Courtney Frericks, and she won the silver medal in London World Championships when I won. So she's a great competitor as well. So,
And then there'll probably be someone new that
There's
we don't know
always
about.
there's always a surprise guest in the Olympics.
But we just try to focus on what we can do, not what anyone else does. It's really hard to project who's going to be there and who won't. And so,
speaking of Kenyans, what a unique group of people that run. I've watched them run in Boston. I've run against them. I'm way behind, of course, in other races. But their feet barely hit the surface, and it's just amazing. And signs all over the place as you guys have run. And my favorite sign, maybe you have one, was in Green Bay when I was running, and a lady held up a sign and said, "In your mind, you're a Kenyan." I thought that was incredible. So any signs that you find are inspiring?
No, my favorite running, it's not a sign, but my favorite thing Joe ever yelled at me when I was running was at the U.S. Championships last year. He just yelled, "Go faster," and I did.
sometimes you got to keep it simple.
Yeah. Well, it's been a pleasure, and we are going, when we cut away, we're going to come back with some questions, but a special interview today with Emma Coburn, Joe Bosshard. I want to thank our sponsors, Grand Bluff Running, Dynamic Performance and Therapy, along with Dennis Vogel, our friend with Citizen State Bank. Next week, we introduce you to Luke Bergner. You may not know that name. However, he's a UWL student, fitness, a success story of his own, just returning from Houston, and a UWL fitness major. Thanks. This is it for this week. I'm your host, Terry Erickson, hoping you have an active and a healthy week ahead.
I am Dennis Vogel, the proud CEO of this one-of-a-kind bank, which provides an experience like no other. I often hear from people that a bank is just a bank. Well, I encourage you to talk to our customers, our employees, or check out our reviews to find out why you can't live without Citizen State Bank. I also encourage you to stop in one of our offices, since the difference will be felt within seconds, and is why we are known to have one of the best cultures in the industry. As a result of our culture and amazing perks we offer our employees, we are recently identified as one of the best banks to work for in the country. We are very proud of this and very excited! The Citizens experience combined with the value-added products has consistently made us one of the top-rated banks in the country. So what are you waiting for? Why don't you stop in to check out what all the buzz is about? I guarantee you won't be disappointed.
At Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning, we have assembled a championship team
who listens to what your needs are.
We install carrier comfort systems that improve the comfort, efficiency, and the air quality of your home and workplace.
We serve you with highly trained technicians who are prompt, friendly, and honest.
For Gold Star treatment, turn to the experts, Carrier and Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning.
Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning. Your comfort is our business.
When you're faced with the decision of selecting a monument to honor someone dear to you, call Lewiston Monuments for a no-obligation consultation. Lewiston Monument is a full-service monument company, serving families in Iowa, Minnesota, and Wisconsin for over 4 generations. You'll find beautiful granite, marble, and bronze memorials, all at competitive prices. Their experts can help you design the perfect and unique memorial. Lewiston Monument. Call today or on the web at lewistonmonument.com.